All right. I think we might be live. Good morning. Welcome to Manhood Day. I don't know what. It's Tuesday today, February 24th. I'm very excited to be here this morning. A little tired to be here, but very excited as well. And so we're going to go down into that big pit in the ground over there, and we're going to read a chapter of the Bible. Have a good time. This is just a daily Bible study where we attempt to take care of an infant baby, play a video game. I'm not getting any audio, and I'm just realizing now probably no one else is either. So let me fix that real quick. Let's see. Let's see if that helped. Okay, we got audio there. Everybody hold on. All right, are we getting my mic? Make sure everything's working. Okay, I think we should be good. All right, so we're going through Luke. What are we doing? Luke chapter 6 today. And Luke chapter 6 is a very, very, very key chapter. And I think it forces us to ask the question of what does it actually look like to follow Jesus, right? In this chapter, Jesus says a lot of things that I think on their face sound beautiful in theory, until you realize that you literally have to practice them, and that's not the easiest thing in the world, right? Things like loving your enemies, blessing those who hurt you, give without expecting back, build your life on obedience. This isn't like a casual Christianity. Hey, look, we can fight this guy. This isn't like a casual Christianity, right? This is something much, much bigger. And it's a big deal. Hold on. We're getting stuck on a wall. All right. This guy's going to be easy. Okay, usually what we'll do when we start out, though, is we go through and do our daily gratitude before we get to anything else. Hold on, I'm going to die here. So, I think about what I'm grateful for. If you're here, you want to throw something in the chat, you're welcome to do that as well. Today, you know what I'm grateful for? This is going to sound weird. I'm grateful for, like, varying degrees of quality of things. I don't know if that makes any sense. I am stuck on a wall. So, like, I'm thankful for really good coffee. I'm also thankful that there's times where I could just have a standard, basic cup of coffee, you know? We're going to die. We're going to die. Hold on. I'm getting off the horse. I wonder if you can parry his little flail. Nope. Maybe not. Bull, good morning, man. Welcome. It's good to have you here. Welcome, welcome. Oh, I rolled way too early. I think I can break him off his horse at this point, though. Oh, what else? I am grateful for... Where'd he go? Oh, man, did he reset himself? So I'm thankful for that. Like there's good coffee, there's bad coffee. You can go to a really, really good restaurant, and you can have just totally mediocre food. And there's something nice about that. I don't know if that makes any sense. And you know what else I'm grateful for is I've been blessed with a pickup truck. I'm super grateful for that. Don't hit me with that. Come on. Got him. Check this out. Let's get off this guy. Does he get a cooler moveset? That's it. I thought that was it. All right, we did it. Good job, everybody. So yeah, I've got a generally good like pickup truck that I'm really grateful for. And then finally, what's poison moth flight? That sounds super cool. That was really, really cool. Oh, finally, I am grateful for what? I'm super grateful that the Word is living and active. That's awesome. you know, I read it and I can meditate on it, and then it just becomes just like more and more and more, grows continually. So super grateful for that.
Trade again.
Have I traded from this guy before? All right. I think I need that. Let's do it. Okay, so we're going into Luke chapter 6. If I can get my page to turn so we can read it. All right. Starting verse 1. On a Sabbath, while Jesus was going through the grain fields, his disciples plucked and ate some of the heads of grain, rubbing them together in their hands. But the Pharisees said, "Why are you doing what is not lawful to do on the Sabbath?" And Jesus answered them, "Have you not read what David when he was hungry, what David did when he was hungry, he and those who were with him?" So, what's interesting here, just so we're on the same page, the picking of the grain thing, that was not illegal. It was actually a part of God's law to allow people to, who are hungry to come through and pick grain as they walk through. So that was totally fine. The only issue was the actual timing of it, which was doing quote-unquote work on the Sabbath, right? And so the Pharisees are sitting here and they're like, hey, why are they doing something that they shouldn't be doing on the day of the Sabbath when they should be resting? And this is a total heart issue, right? Like rather than, yeah, it's just, it's interesting to watch. Oh, there's a bunch of, oh, they're not poison either. They're scarlet rot. Okay. Super interesting to me. So, oh my goodness. Hold on. I got to stop being distracted real quick. We'll get down this hill. All right. So Jesus says to him, "Is like, have you not heard what David did?" Which is really interesting. We just got done reading through is that it over there? We just got done reading through the First Samuel story, and that's where this comes up, right? He goes in with his men, and what's super cool about this is what he's referring to, the story that he's bringing up. The priests at the time were the ones who gave David the bread. So he's making like a heart distinction there of the fact that you got a situation where these religious authority of the day are not concerned with the heart of the situation at all, but they're only concerned with the outward expression of the law. So they're looking for any way that they can to call Jesus and his men out, and they're like, hey, you guys shouldn't be touching this grain on the Sabbath. You're not allowed to work, so just starve instead, right? It's easy. It's simple. And then Jesus points to a time when there is literally this moment of David is hungry, and the priest himself gives him some of the bread of the presence, which was supposed to be eaten by the priests only. But those priests at that time understood the heart of what was happening, right, rather than just the outcome of the law itself. And so it's showing you this difference, and then Jesus is pointing to religious authorities of a previous time that did understand the heart of what was happening here. And so I find that super interesting. And okay, so he says, he entered the house of God, took and ate the bread of the presence, which is not lawful for any but the priest to eat, and also gave it to those who were with him, right? And he said, the Son of Man is Lord of the Sabbath. So this is super clear. The Son of Man being Lord of the Sabbath. So key call out, the Sabbath is something that is not just Old Testament law. That is something that goes all the way back to creation. So Jesus Christ is claiming something that is like, hey, I am Lord of this thing, this core truth that even supersedes the law given to Moses himself. Right, and I'm Lord over that. So this is a claim to divinity. It's a claim of authority, that he is Lord over, what is that? Oh, we're good. He's Lord over everything, right? It's a claim to his godhood in essence. And his claim to being the Son of Man, which is another, I believe that's what, Daniel that talks about that? So it's a claim to prophetic fulfillment too. So Jesus, I hear a lot of people will talk about, hey, like Jesus never claimed to be God. And as we read through this, it's very, very, very clear. Jesus regularly and consistently claimed to actually be God. Okay, so let's make sure I got everything there. Oh, the other thing I would say here, too, is he actually compares himself directly to David. What did David and his men do? They went in and ate the bread of the presence. And him doing that is claiming, like, in essence, that he is of a similar, like, ilk to David, right? So, like, they would have been like, well, David is a greater man than the majority of us, and he's essentially comparing himself to that, making the claim that, like, he is of the same level of magnitude that David was, which I find interesting as well. Okay, on another Sabbath, so once again, we're seeing another piece here. Oh, okay. TikTok keeps telling me to do random things that I don't understand, so I get distracted and confused. Oh, no. Can I get back on the horse? Is this... Okay, is this what invaded me or not? Okay. Well. No, Millicent, that's who invaded me. I don't want to have to fight two of them at once. Hey, look at that. Okay, that was easy. That worked out. We're all right. These look like man, these are scary. All right. Okay, we're moving over here. Hold on. Everybody calm down. Hi, Mrs. Bull. Welcome. I'm stuck in a hole. I'm stuck in a hole. There's now 3 of them. Uh-oh. It's not good. This is not good. But now I can't get over by the Scarlet Rock because I already have it, so we're just going to run away. Can Flame Cleanse Me do anything here? Let's see. Alright. We got one. We're good. Okay. Okay, on another Sabbath, he entered the synagogue and was teaching, and a man was there whose right hand was withered. All right. And the scribes and the Pharisees watched him to see whether he would heal on the Sabbath. So we've got a situation where they're literally... Oh my goodness. Well, we're trying, guys. I don't know what to tell you. I got... These guys are intense. Yeah, okay. All right. We did it. Why are they staying over there? All right, so they're watching him. So we're here on the Lord's Day, right? This is like the equivalent of we're sitting at church on a Sunday. And almost there. We got him. Ouch. Okay, well, we died. And so these scribes and these Pharisees, rather than actually partaking in the situation and, like, enjoying the Lord, they're literally sitting there watching him to see whether he would heal on the Sabbath. So is this guy going to do something that we can entrap him with, right? So they might find a reason to accuse him. So excellent heart posture in the midst of the Sabbath of the Lord's Day, all being together in the synagogue. There to be with God, but not there at all to be with him. But he knew their thoughts and said to the man with the withered hand, "Come and stand here." And he rose and stood there. And Jesus said to them, "I ask you, is it lawful on the Sabbath to do good or to do harm, to save life or to destroy it?" And after looking around at them all, he said, "Stretch out your hand." And he did so, and his hand was restored. But they were filled with fury and discussed with one another what they might do to Jesus. So a couple things here. We don't see that the man even necessarily asked for healing, right? He's there in the space. The scribes and the Pharisees are glad that he's there because they're hopeful that he will be healed by Jesus so they can accuse him of something. And Jesus calls him up, right? And essentially asks a question, which at this time there's a popular aspect of a Jewish proverb, which says, "Do no harm," right? So this is what he's doing here is he's taking this proverb that is theirs, which is hey, do no harm, right? We're following just to the very edge of the law here. And so you don't want to do harm to anybody else. And what Jesus is doing is he's flipping that on his head, which he does throughout the entirety of the rest of this, what's called I think it's called the Beatitudes, or the Sermon on the Mount is what it's called in Matthew. Here it seems to be in a flat place, and it's slightly different than the other one. But it's flipping these things on their heads and going from, hey, do no harm, to you are to actively do good, right? Here's what it means to truly follow Christ. And this is what he's saying here. Is it lawful on the Sabbath to do good or to do harm, right? Or to save a life or destroy it. And so after looking at them, he said, "Stretch out his hand." His hand is restored, and they were filled with fury to discuss what they might do to him. All right. In these days, he went out to the mountain to pray. Once again, we see this over and over and over again. If Jesus needs it, so do we. We need to separate ourselves and pray to him. I'm pretty sure. I'm looking for something very specific over here. I think there's a... Hold on. We're going to find it. No, don't hurt me. Okay, so he separates to pray, and it says something unique here, which is, and all night he continued in prayer to God. Oh, that was a mistake. He continued in prayer to God. So, there we go. So this is something that is unique to his other times of separating to regularly pray, which is that he prayed all night. And what I think is interesting is, what is the outcome of this all-night prayer? Oh, I missed them all. There we go. That was what I was thinking I was going to find. We got it. So he goes and prays all night long, which is relevant, and it seems to me to be Hey, Maximus, welcome. It seems to me to be preempting a larger... Whoops, that was a mistake. Hold on. A larger decision, right? Which is something that I think we can take a lot from, because he goes directly from this. Oh, I don't want viewers. We've got to get I don't know if we can set rules for that, or you just have a mod shut them down or whatever. I think it's annoying. There we go. Here it is. This is what I was looking for. Okay, so he goes right after this, and he prays all night long. And when the day came, what does he do? He calls his disciples and chooses from them 12, whom he named apostles. So he goes and prays all night before establishing who the key people are that he is going to teach and send into the world, right? And it makes it also clear that he's got a lot more disciples, people who are following him, than just the apostles themselves, which I think the majority of us know, but I think it's important to call out. And so you've got this situation where... Oh, I guess I'll explain this. I actually was not abundantly clear Is this a trap? Oh, no, it's not. I wasn't abundantly clear on exactly like what the word apostle meant, so I was looking into that yesterday. So an apostle is like a delegate. It is a essentially a messenger, a spokesperson, an ambassador of the person himself. So there's a difference between being a disciple of Jesus and then one whom is sent by Jesus. And that's the difference between those who were his disciples and those who were set apart as his apostles. It was a very dedicated, smaller group of people that were called to something greater, right? They were called to a bigger role in his ministry. This thing is massive. Look at this. Is this going back to that jar guy? Ooh. Well, that was a waste of time. That was a waste of time. Okay, so what can you call... Never mind. I'm getting out of this corner. Okay, so apostles, delegates, they're ones with greater power, but Jesus did have a lot more disciples than that. So he calls them and chose from them 12, whom he named the disciples. So this is a reconfirmation. What's going on, Alchemist? Welcome. Do you want me to call you Tabletop or Alchemist? I guess I should ask you that question. I'll keep going until you answer me. Okay. Either is fine with you. All right. I'll just switch it up each time, each and every time. So he picks from the 12. The number 12, very important. I think in a lot of ways this is like a symbolic restoration of Israel. It is a complete number in the same way that they chose and set apart the 12 tribes of Israel. Oh my goodness, that was bad. Okay, well, that didn't work out. I'm going to remove these messages. Here we go. Great, now I got to go refine that. Excuse me. So he chooses 12, very reflective of the 12 tribes of Israel, a complete number. And here's who he names. Simon, whom he named Peter, and Andrew, his brother, and James, and John, and Philip, and Bartholomew, and Matthew, and Thomas. Oh, look, here we go. Now I can die again as I try to pick this up. All right, we're good. Oh, go for the forward. Matthew, and Thomas, and James, the son of Alphaeus, and Simon, who was called the Zealot, and Judas, the son of James, and Judas Iscariot, who became a traitor. Something I recently learned, Judas is just the Greek version of Judah. So, I think it's interesting. And I also haven't looked into the rest of the names, but that's the only thing I have. Okay, so he comes down. He came down with them and stood on a level place. So this is where I was talking about. It's a bit different than what Matthew says, which is the Sermon on the Mount. But it seems to be either the same moment, a condensed version of the same moment, or a very, very similar sermon. And a great multitude, with a great crowd of his disciples and a great multitude of people from all Judea and Jerusalem and the seacoast of Tyre and Sidon, who came to hear him and to be healed of their diseases. Oh, my goodness. All right. I'm about to throw a fit. All right, we're going to be all right. What does this say? Ooh, okay. Hold on. We got to fix something. And I think we ride the horse. Let's go in here. Move, move, move. There we go. We got it. And he's got a lot of guys he calls in here. Are they fighting each other? Oh, they're probably fighting my guy. I don't know what that does. Okay. Gotta move. Hold on, we're almost done. We're almost done. I can't tell if all those guys are focused on me or not. Okay, I gotta move. Oh no, this is not good. We're gonna die. Okay, we got the drink off. We're all right. We're close. We're close. Oh, that's not good. All right. The other thing is, I'm pretty sure that when it talks about Tyre and Sidon, that would be indicating, and I could be wrong here, but I'm pretty sure that indicates those are Gentiles. I don't think Tyre and Sidon is a part of... I guess I could be wrong about that, though. Hey, unalloyed gold needle. I think we need that for something. So there is that as well. He's out there, and there's people from all over coming in, and they came to hear him and to be healed of their diseases. And those who were troubled with unclean spirits were cured, and all the crowd sought to touch him, for power came out from him and healed them all. So there's this element of there's just massive power outflowing from. Okay. And here we go. We're into the Sermon on the Mount, Hill, Plain, the Beatitudes, whatever you want to call it. Oh, hold on. Did I not actually sit down at this? Did that get me enough? I don't even have enough to level up from that guy. All right. Probably need to go here and there. Probably. And he lifted up his eyes on his disciples and said, "Blessed are you who are poor, for yours is the kingdom of God." Something I think is interesting about this specific... Oh, my goodness, that's frustrating. Please stop. Hold on. Oh, I'm stuck. Move, move, move. All right, we're good. Okay. I find interesting about this is different. So in Matthew, the beginning portion of the blessing says, "Blessed are those who are poor in spirit." This seems to be making a different statement, and the only reason I say that is because this also reflects the Proverbs. So he's talking and he gives these blessings at the beginning, and then he shifts to a "but woe to you," right? And so it's very reflective of how the Proverbs would work, which would be a positive and then a reflective negative. And he says, "Blessed are you who are poor, for yours is the kingdom of heaven, of God." And then the first woe that he gives is, "But woe to you who are rich, for you have received your consolation." And so he seems to be making a statement here that it's probably both like poor in spirit, but there definitely seems to be an element of like material wealth, right? Those of you who are actually like poor as in literally poor. I really don't like fighting these guys. That's good. Okay, where I can't even look at my map right now. Oh, look at this. Let me get off this thing. Oh, I missed it. Hold on. He's coming back around. I think I picked the perfect spot to... Nope. Maybe not. This is really important. Whenever there's something invisible, you always have to kill it. Nope. Nope. Hold on. Probably read while I do this. It's going to take me like 10 or 15 minutes. See, this is why you do that, because now I can poison everybody with my blade. That'll be great. All right. Let's get back on the horse. Okay, so blessed are you who are poor. Blessed are you who are hungry now, for you shall be satisfied. Blessed are you who weep now, for you shall laugh. Blessed are you when people hate you, when they accuse you and revile you and spurn you. Hey, Joshua, thanks for following, man. I really want to figure out where the entrance to this dumb... Oh, is this it up here? I think it's over here. Wow, roses. Thank you. That's the first rose I've ever gotten. I don't totally know what it means, but I'm super grateful. So thank you so much. Okay, so blessed are you who weep now, for you shall laugh. Blessed are you when people hate you and when they exclude you and revile you and spurn your name as evil on account of the Son of Man. Rejoice in that day and leap for joy, for behold, your reward is great in heaven, for so their fathers did to the prophets. So I think a key call out here is he's making a distinction between those who are patiently waiting for the Messiah and then those who are not. Right? So, because he literally throws in at the end of this, blessed are you when they exclude you, when they revile you, when they spurn your name as evil on account of the Son of Man. So this is not just anybody for any reason at all. Like, if people may hate you because you're hateable, you're just not the coolest person on earth and people just don't like you. But he's making a different point here. He's like, blessed are those who are poor, who are lacking, who weep now, who are waiting patiently for the coming culmination of the gospel, of the good news. Because the Son of Man is here, right? You're now blessed. This is coming. Rejoice in that day and leap for joy. And behold, your reward is great in heaven. For so their fathers did to the prophets. And so he's bringing these people into something that they've all learned about through their growing up in the Jewish culture, right? Which is, hey, the prophets were not loved in their time. They were hated. And then he goes into and talks about the counter. But woe to you who are rich, for you have received your consolation. Woe to you who are full now, for you shall be hungry. Woe to you who laugh now, for you shall mourn and weep. And woe to you when all people speak well of you, for so their fathers did to the false prophets. So he's drawing this direct opposition of, if you're sitting here thinking now is a good time, now is the time that we've always wanted, right? If you're in power now, woe to you. And now woe is not like just so we're all clear, it's not like an anger piece, right? This isn't something where he's like, hey, wrath upon you. Woe is like a lament, like a doctor's warning in essence, right? It's like this concept of, hey, I don't want you to be a part of this condemnation. Like, there's this tone of sorrow and warning, like, hey, get out and choose something else. Get out and repent, turn, and seek something else, right? And so I got distracted. Utmost High says, when you choose God, love, and faith, these things the devil does not possess. Agreed. I love that. Okay. So he's warning the people who are full now. And essentially what he's doing is he's drawing a dichotomy between the religious leaders of the day who are pompous, held up on their own, like what they accomplish, what they do, versus the people who are, right, the people who would be the ones going out to John the Baptist to be baptized. This baptism of repentance. I need to prepare myself for the coming of the Lord. Okay, so, but I say to you who hear, love your enemies and do good to those who hate you. Again, this is taking, what happened to my, oh, there we go. This is taking this common Jewish proverb, which says, do no harm. And Jesus is taking it not only further, but to the furthest possible degree that he can, right? So he's saying, hey, not only do I want you to do no harm to them, I want you to go way, way beyond that. I want you to actively do good to your enemies, right? You actively go out of your way to do them and love them, right? It's not just about not doing them harm. I want you to love these people. Hold on. I'm going to switch my... You think this one will go through them? Let's see. Yeah, go take care of the child. I may have to go get my child here soon. I left her upstairs because she was sleeping. Oh no, I hate these things. All right, we got that one. We're good. Okay. Blessed are those who bless those who curse you. That's awesome, Utmost. I love that. Utmost pin on Facebook is love your enemies. Luke 6:27. That's what we're reading right now. We're reading that right now. It's great. Do good to those who hate you, bless those who curse you, and pray for those who abuse you. To one who strikes you on the cheek, offer the other also, and from one who takes away your cloak, do not withhold your tunic either. Give to everyone who begs from you, and from one who takes away your goods, do not demand them back. This is massively countercultural. It's massively countercultural to us today. To me, right? That's what's insane about this whole thing in my mind is Jesus is saying something so beyond what any of us are used to in and of our flesh, right? With the spirit, I think that there is I want to get that. There we go. I think our spirit understands this, right? The Spirit of God lives in us and can help us to understand these things and to live up to them. But there is no part of my flesh that understands this. And it goes against what all of them expected in the day. And I think what's nuts about this is as we're reading is you look at what Jesus is saying here is literally that, hey, not only should you be doing this. Oh, my goodness. I'm not a fan of these things. Hold on. They hurt, and I don't like it. Okay, so he's not only saying, hey, you should be doing this, like this is how the law should operate. This is about the heart of the law and not just the letter of it. I want you to go so much further than what you just see being said. Oh, my goodness. Okay, well, gotta hurry up and drink. I'm gonna die. There we go. All right. I can't even get through there. Okay, sorry. This goes so much further than just the letter of the law. I want you to do so much more than this. But I think what's nuts about this is, y'all, we get to perceive the other side of the truth of this, which is the fact that Jesus is preparing them for what he is going to do for them. Right? Jesus is not asking you to do something that he himself did not do and did not do specifically for you. If you look at Romans 5, I think it's Romans 5, while we were still sinners, Christ died for us. So we've got this situation where Christ is calling us. Did he fall off? All right, we're good. We got him. Christ is calling us to do what he is going to go forth and do himself. Right? He's calling us to, hey, I want you to love those who hate you. Pray for those who persecute you. Give to whoever asks of you. And then he goes to the furthest possible degree with every single one of these things and gives his life, a perfect life, something worth far more than any of us have, for the sake of those who literally hate him. While we were still sinners, while we were still in complete rebellion to God, he gave his life for you and for me. And his calling is for everyone to do the same. And his calling, I think, is what's interesting is impossible for us. Right? His calling is not something that we can live up to. And that's a part of the point here. It takes every single thing that they're taught they're supposed to do and hold to and moves it so far beyond what is possible for anybody to do and essentially makes it to where, hey, there is no way you're going to live up to this without me. Right? That's essentially what's being said here is... This is too much for you to take. Oh, my goodness. If he doesn't stop doing that, I'm going to just throw a fit. All right, we're fine. We got it. We got it. All right. I did not love that guy, right, as Christ has called me to. So I'll give you that. That's fair. Okay. Oh, and as you wish that others would do to you, do so to them. Do to others that you would have them do unto you. And if you do good to those who do good to you, what benefit is that to you? For even sinners do the same. So really, really important thing he's calling out here is he's like, hey, why would I care if you love those who love you? Every single person in their life does that. You've been taking the law that God has given you, and you've been using some weird forfeiture of it where, hey, just do no harm. That's all. Just don't harm anybody and you're fine. That doesn't seem very important. Maybe it is. And he's taking it way further than that. Look at that. Like a pro gamer. Okay. How do we get up there? I don't know. I'm going this way. We're going to see what happens. We're going this way. Welcome back, Alchemist. We're happy to have you here. We had a little bit of a gospel presentation while you were gone. It's great. Okay. And if you lend to those from whom you expect to receive, what credit is that to you? Even sinners lend to sinners and get back the same amount. But love your enemies. And do good. And lend, expecting nothing in return, and your reward will be great, and you will be the sons of the Most High. For he is kind to the ungrateful and the evil. Be merciful, even as your Father is merciful. Man, that's cool. And what's interesting here is he's promising reward, right? Okay, judge not, and you will not be judged. Condemn not, and you will not be condemned. Forgive, and you will be forgiven. Give, and it will be given back to you. And then he says something really interesting here. He says, good measure, pressed down, shaken together, running over, will be put into your lap. For with the measure that you used, it will be measured back to you. What he's referring to here is, oh, hold on. This guy's trying to hurt me. Take that. All right. What he's referring to here is at the time in the bartering culture, when in the marketplace, what they would do is they would have they would use like measuring baskets. So when he's using the phrase, how does he phrase it? Press down, good measure, press down, shaken together, running over. He's making the statement here that we're dealing with a marketplace person or a God who is absolutely and utterly generous, right? He's not just filling this measuring basket full. He's filling it completely full, then pressing it down, then shaking it together, filling all the empty space, and then allowing it to run over before handing it back to you, right? And so there's this element of, hey, I want you to do more than just not do harm. I want you to do good. And my promise to you is, and the reality is the fulfillment of this promise. I might have just lost my camera. Might have to get a new one. New battery real quick. Let's do that. Everybody hold on. We're trying. At some point here, we'll level this thing up to where we don't have to do this. But we're not there yet. Let's see if that works. Okay, so go beyond just not doing bad, do good. And then in response to that, I am going to give to you all this great stuff. Hey, thank you for following. I didn't see that, Mike. Back up. Welcome. You followed over on Kick, I believe. So what's crazy, though, is what he's talking about. He's fulfilling himself with himself on earth, right? He's calling them to do something great. And then he is the one that is literally going to go and do this. And the measure given back is his sacrifice. It's him bringing us back to himself by loving us the same way he's asking us to love others, by giving himself up, by giving back without expecting anything in return. And so he fulfills this himself and gives the perfect sacrifice, the perfect gift to each and every one of us, just by the nature of his life and death and resurrection. Super cool. All right. Oh, he also told him this parable. Can a blind man lead a blind man? Will they not both fall into a pit? A disciple is not above his teacher, but everyone, when he is fully trained, will be like his teacher. Why do you see the speck that is in your brother's eye, but do not notice the log in your own eye? There's a ton to get into here. I actually found out that the blind leading the blind was already a common understood like teaching in parable. That was something that was a common phrase in the day, and he's using that to kind of change the meaning of it. And then he says, like the statement of a disciple is not above his teacher, but everyone when he is fully trained will be like his teacher. And so he's making this in my mind, the statement of who are you actually following? Are you paying attention to what the people that you're following are doing and who they are? Because you are going to be like them. If we follow Christ, we become like Christ. If we follow whoever, right, these religious authorities of the day, we're going to turn in. Oh my goodness, what is happening? We're going to become like them. I'm going to die. We're good. We got it. All right. And then we've got the eye for an eye thing, which I think we commonly hear, at least in Christian circles. Danger, Will Robinson. Yes. Okay, so he says, why do you see the speck in your brother's eye, but you do not notice the log that is in your own eye? And you can tell they've come after Jesus multiple times with these, what we would call specks, right? It's like, hey, it's the Sabbath today. Why aren't you guys starving and not doing and doing something that's unlawful on the Sabbath? Or, hey, are you really going to heal this guy and change his entire life for the better? Hey, thank you for following. Four acre Jason. 1 second. Oh, thank you. Love you so much. I love you too. Okay. Oh, sorry. So just Jason. I'm sorry. Just Jason. Welcome, Jason. I'm happy that you're here. And thank you for the love. I appreciate it. I lost track of speck in the eye thing. So he's been talking to the religious authorities, and he's essentially having that exact experience with them is, hey, they are so far away from God. They're so far separate from God. But then they're literally pointing out any speck that they can find within these people around them to set themselves apart and keep themselves there. Wow. Thank you for the hat. I don't know what a hat and a mustache does or the love thing, but I'm very grateful for them. Thank you. So they're calling out these small things, anything that can set them apart and keep them elevated in their position, while the entire time he's like, hey, this is really a massive log in your own eye, right? Like this, like you can't even see me or the truth that I have or what I'm bringing to you because you're so bound up in your own position, your own authority, and being greater than everyone around you, right? This is not good. And so then he used this parable to explain, hey, you guys are, and we can do this in our own life, right? I think from a life application perspective, we do this ourselves, where it's like it's much easier to say, well, I am, in relation to the people around me, I'm better, right? I can see all these other things, and we'll ignore these massive problems in our own heart, in our own life, in our own way, because it feels better to just say, well, look over there, like look at what's going on with these people over here. Okay. How can you say to your brother, let me take out the speck that is in your eye when you yourself do not see the log that is in your own eye? You hypocrite. First, take the log out of your own eye. Then you will see clearly to take the speck that is in your brother's eye. I really appreciate it, Jason. And so this is, I don't know, this is just, it's super interesting to me because I think it's like what he's also doing is he's like, hey, just don't judge other people. Oh, I got to go and hold on. This is really important. Oh, we're going to die. Okay, we died. That was fun. That was fun. I lost track of what I was talking about. Okay, so I think one key insight from what I'm reading out of this, because we got about, 9 minutes left. Oh, cool. Where to put me over here? Don't judge us for the same thing that you were doing. Yeah. I think there's also the case you made that it's like, don't judge others for problems that they may be experiencing when we are going to deal with similar or worse things. And we're not actually blessing the person by judging them for it. I think there is a difference, though, in the fact of, like, we are called to, like, bring things into the light, to call out our brothers and sisters and, like, correct them when they don't see something they should be doing. So I think that is different. But he's talking about what's happening around him, which is these guys don't care about what the heart of God actually is. They care about maintaining their authority, their place, and making sure Jesus doesn't continue to elevate himself. So it's like, hey, get these logs out of your own eye and actually care about what I care about. One of the key insights that I think I'm seeing through this thing, though, is like Jesus isn't just giving moral instruction. He's describing what citizens of God's kingdom look like, right? So he's saying, hey, y'all have perceived that like you just doing these generally good things and doing no harm and holding like just fist closed to the law and to every single like dot and cross T, right? Dotted I, cross T, whatever you call that. Is what is saving you. And he's like, no. Citizens of God's kingdom, those who are truly going to be my children, are going to emulate me, what I am going to do while I am here on this earth. And they are going to live out so much more. It's going to become an aspect of the heart so that even the things that aren't seen, no one ever knows about, they're still doing these things because it's about their relationship directly with God and directly with me, and not about being seen or respected by others, by those around. Right, so it's like a total shift of what's to be expected and what Christ expects. Okay, that was fun. Oh, I'm all the way back at the beginning. I thought I was further in. Oh, man. That's sad. That is sad. Hold on. Watch this. We're just running past. We're running past. They can't stop us. Okay, we got it. Good. Okay, so life application piece here. As we kind of get toward the closeout, we're here every morning. Started doing an hour recently. Before we were doing like 30 to 45 minutes. But now I'm able to just like sit here and yap for an hour while I attempt to play a video game. So as long as you guys keep showing up, we'll keep doing that, I guess. Hold on. Oh, don't do that. We got it. Thanks, Alchemist. I appreciate that. Okay, life application piece here. At the very beginning, what we see is essentially Christ is separating this thing of relationship over ritual. So the Pharisees keep calling him out for these things, and he's changing the perspective of what of this act. Oh, I can kick that down right there. Look at this. Hold on. Whoops. I clicked the wrong button. There we go. So changing the perspective of, hey, y'all have thought that this is about, like, I guess what I think of you, or there's nothing back here. Y'all have been like perceiving this completely incorrectly this entire time, right? You're so concerned with following the law that you don't even love people, that you don't even have a relationship with me, relationship with people. Like at this point, what you do is just detestable to me. Right? And he's like, what I care about is relationship. I care about mercy. I care about love for other people. Y'all are literally telling these people around me, hey, I'd rather you starve than to eat today because it's the Sabbath. Hey, I would rather you deal with this lifelong, like, destroyed hand than to be healed and corrected, because what matters is the law over actual people, over the actual, like, what God even cares about. And so there's this people of, hey, God cares way more about your relationship with him and how you interact and love those around him than he does about you keeping his law or keeping his rules, right? The other thing is life application here, doing good. Like sometimes, guys, that brings opposition. It is not going to be a situation where you get to always like happy-go-lucky, feel good about what's going on, and like everything feels great. Okay, that is ridiculous that all this missed. Should I like shoot one of those guys so they come over here? Here, let's do a look at this. I got these things still from like... Come over here. He's coming over. He's going to come say hi. Okay, here we go. We got him. All right, 3. I didn't really finish that point, but doing it brings opposition, right? Like we're not always going to be loved for following what Christ has called us to do. He wasn't, we're not. Whoa, excuse me, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cough right in you guys' ears. Got a little ASMR going. All right, we got it. Okay. I've got quite a few life application points in this chapter, but it's a really full chapter. So we got to go through it. Also, if you have any prayer requests, throw them in the chat. I'm thinking about doing that now. Nice. Let me know. Okay. Faithful's Canvas Talisman. Wonder if that's faith-based. Might be. Okay, so prayer should precede major decisions. We look at like Jesus literally prayed all night before he went and made the major decision of like, hey, who are going to be the actual apostles that I send out, which is really, really interesting when you think about Christ's divinity, like him going and spending that much time. It's a model for us, but it's also just interesting to watch when it's like, hey, he is the literal like God incarnate, and he's spending time deep in prayer modeling this for us to understand as well. Another one, God just calls imperfect people. I mean, he's calling fishermen, he's calling tax collectors. The people who he actually calls are not the greatest. They're not the best. They're not the people who are concerned about their what people perceive of them, right? This is something greater, and I think that it gives me a lot of peace and a lot of hope that it's like I'm just some guy, and yet for some reason he uses me to his benefit, and I'm so grateful for it. All right. The other thing here is following Jesus is going to be countercultural. It will not fit into what the culture is doing and what the culture says we should do. And oh no, I don't like this guy. Okay, that should not have hurt me. We're good. Okay, well, that's not going to work. You know, rather than defending... okay, hold on one second. I'm distracted. Maximus says, I'd gladly defend my faith in Christ against any person in the world. The cool thing is, we don't get to just defend it against every person. We get to defend it to every person as well and bring them into the fold, which is cool. Hold on. Oh, we're good. I think this is going to be... Oh, okay. I'm speaking too quickly. I almost said I think it's going to be a first try. That's even better. It is. It's super cool. Hey, we got him. Great job, everybody. That was a first try. Nice. We got a bell bearing. Okay, good stuff. Let me see. I think that's about it. I think we got it covered. Oh, and it's exactly 6:30 right now, so that worked out. All right. I think what stands out to me and strikes me is that Jesus sets a standard that that none of us naturally meet. And I think what I'm grateful for as I'm like reading through this is the fact that we exist in a reality where I get to have like literally his spirit guiding me. And I don't think the majority of us understand the gravity of like what exactly that means and what impact that actually has. Right? That is a wild statement that you have the spirit of the living God. If Christ is your Lord and you're redeemed by him, you're literally indwelt by the Spirit of God. And that's insane. The fact that like when I look at the stuff and I'm challenged by it and I struggle with like, oh man, I'm not living up to everything there. And it's like, it's okay. What matters is the fact that like my heart is redeemed. I can craft while I stand up. I'm totally distracted. But my heart's redeemed, and I am able to look at this stuff, be challenged by this stuff, and then literally just like sit here and be like, Christ, please work this out of me. I believe. Help me in my unbelief. Right? And that blows my mind. That's incredible. I love it. We're going into Luke chapter 7 tomorrow, which I'm excited about as well. So we'll be here same time. We'll go from 6:30 Central to 7:30 Central. I mean, wait. No, we won't. It might be earlier. It may be a little bit earlier. I might do like 6:15 to 7:15 because I need to be somewhere right at. I'm actually Mountain Time, but I'm making it Central. I actually need to be somewhere like 7 a.m. my time. So I might do a little bit earlier tomorrow morning. I did set up a Discord. I have no idea what to do with it, but I set it up. So I'll have to figure out where to put that link going forward because I've been asked a couple times to do that. 1 second, I'm going to level up real quick. That didn't do enough. Do this. That didn't do enough either. Hold on. Here we go. That's what we needed. Put the link in the description in your channels that you stream on. That's what I'll do, Maximus. This is why Maximus is here, because he actually helps us to do an okay job. That's what we'll do. Okay, I'm not doing Dex anymore. We got that up where we need it to be. I think we're getting Vigor to 30. Maximus is our MVP for today for helping us in that area. All right, with that, you guys keep Christ the center focus of your life. Stay in step with the Spirit, and we will see you in the morning. Tomorrow morning. All right. Bye.